If you're looking for some straight-up marketing advice that's super chilled and also a bit of a laugh, then grab yourself a drink and get ready for Marketing and Margaritas, a podcast that makes marketing entertaining. Brought to you by Rebel Nation, direct from regional Queensland.
Hello and welcome to Marketing and Margaritas. Today I'm joined by Ben Chick from Explore Property Mackay, and we're going to be talking about client retention strategies for 2025. So the two main reasons I wanted to do this podcast as like our big finale for 2024 is, number one, I think it's really important to look to other industries for what we can learn from each other. I remember really well going to a marketing conference one year, and the marketer in front of us said that what they used to do was each year they would look at a different industry type to see what they could learn and take on from them. So like hotels, for example, everyone turns up to a hotel, you do your booking, you take out your credit card, ready to go. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, how can we get people doing that? So that always stuck with me of like, you're in real estate, that's a very different sort of aspect to most of our audience. But what's there that we don't know that we could be using, you know what I mean? And secondly, I think that client retention can often be the unsung hero of a business. It's, marketing is not just about getting new clients and that type of thing. It's really about relationships and servicing people and doing a good job so that they've got a reason to tell others, but also a reason to stay with you. And so I think that it's very important, but we don't really care what I think today. We care about what you think.
Well, I'm ready whenever you are.
So before we get into the client retention stuff, I wanted to get to know you a little bit more. Give us some of your background. What's been the highlights from your career so far?
Well, it's spanned 15 years now, so it's gone really quickly.
Wow, that is.
Yeah. Real estate's a funny game. It's funny because when you talk about highlights, it's almost in our industry you can win any award, or there's a heap of awards you can win. If you nominate for enough of them, you'll win one. So my highlight's not really about awards we've won, or because it's not. It's about probably my journey based on a business owner. So I started out as an agent, then opened obviously Explore. My success is probably from the people I have. I've had a lot of people that have been day one new to real estate, never done it. I've had people that, and still with me, I've had people that are done it somewhere else and they're more successful, and that's not a go at the other agencies. It's just for some reason we've clicked.
Finding that right fit for you.
Find that right fit for me, find that right fit for them. And the other thing is, it's probably the best successes we're still doing it after 10 years of owning Explore is the other thing, because business is not easy. Everyone who thinks it's easy, or the business owners, business owners' weather, or business owners' weekends, and social media hasn't helped that. Everyone thinks it's such a beauty to have a business and responsibility. So
especially TikTok, man. It's the get a business up and running in a weekend and make $1,000 a week through no effort, and it's like, that's not real.
It's a false economy, which I don't think helps anybody either. A lot of people have tried and then it doesn't work, and it's probably not their failures or their fault. It's what they've. No one gives them the school of hard knocks chat. It's like, you'll be fine, go and do it, and as opposed to, this could be really bad. Maybe you don't do it yet. So I think. So our successes, we're a real estate business. We do sales, we do property management, we have a commercial arm, and I'd like to say we do it really well. So our success is that the clients we deal with and the communities embraced us. So for that, I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I think everyone pretty much knows Explore, man. You guys have got a really well-known brand and a well-respected brand and stuff through the community for sure. So you were only doing real estate for 5 years before you actually opened up Explore?
So I've got.
So you're like 5 years in, you're like, this is so fucking easy. I could just do this myself.
Yeah, I thought, no, it probably wasn't even that. Like when I don't really think about, until someone asked me, and I think, what was the evolution like? I was obviously a pretty good agent, and it wasn't anything my previous person did. I just had this previous business owner boss did. It was just, I think I just wanted more, and not in spite of anything. I just, I thought, well, I like to lead people, and I don't even. It's probably not the right term either. It's not like I like people following me. I like working with people and developing people.
Yes, same. I love that, developing of people, like kind
just
of
watching them believe in themselves and then grow into themselves and then master it and then have the success. I think that's my real driver.
Yeah, I get a lot of enjoyment about that, like getting to know someone and being like, oh, I think you'd be good at this and this, and then, oh, no, could never do that. I'm like, how about we just do it anyway?
Yeah,
how
give it a go.
And you push them, and then they do something like, oh, I can't believe I did this. And I'm like, I did.
Yeah, you can see it. That's the biggest thing. People can't see it in themselves sometimes.
That's it. It's so much fun, like recognizing that potential and then seeing that potential come to fruition and someone just having that confidence and stuff. And you're like, dude, I knew you were amazing way back when. Like, it's just, it's a really good feeling.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It takes time, but there's nothing better than watching someone else succeed.
Yeah.
And typically it's from their own volition. It's their own effort.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the little prods and pokes and, putting them back on track every now and then to say, hey, listen, remember what we're here for.
Which again is from, like, I know that I've got mentors still now who do that for me. They're the ones who believe in me when I don't, or who are just kind of like, this was really good, but maybe just rethink this sort of thing, just that extra guidance or whatever.
I think that you're probably
helps.
open to it too. Like, I think good people are open to feedback, good or bad.
Yeah.
Some people are like, no, it's my way or the highway, or what would you know? Or, no, I think I'll stick with what I'm doing, as opposed to being a sponge and saying, well, like if you asked me, how do you think I'm going, Ben? I'd hope that you'd want the honest
answer. Yeah. And not that I'm going to be, like, if it's not going well, I'm not going to be a jerk about it, but I'll give you constructive feedback.
Yeah, correct. Well,
and also if I give you praise, you'll know it's justified because I don't just deal it out for nothing.
Yeah. Hopefully it's the people you ask are the right people. I mean, if you got a problem, don't ask 15 people how to fix it, because you'll be more confused. And everyone's got a different opinion, like I shouldn't have asked anyone.
Yeah.
But if
you have clients who are like that.
Ask those ones that have done it. I think that's learn from those that have got experience, success, or have been down that road. Everyone will give you the two bobs worth if you ask for it, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know.
Okay, so I managed to get us spectacularly off track. That's my fault. I'm very good at tangents, but it's just I get interested in the conversation. Okay, so from the outside to me, real estate tends to look like a revolving door. Like it's just this constant kind of needing to feed in leads sort of thing, because houses are just going up for sale, getting sold. Properties are getting listed for rent, they're getting tenanted sort of thing. So it's just this continuous sort of, like I said, revolving door of people and situations. So from that perspective, in the trenches of real estate, why do you think client retention is worth putting time and effort into?
I think, I know the best clients are the ones you've already got. I don't want to sound cliched here, but the people
Sometimes
you've already...
cliches are there for a reason, man, because they're true.
I think the key thing is that the best relationships we typically have are people we've already worked with. Because if I don't have a relationship with you, then I've got to start from... It's such a hard process to go from 0 to 10 where you've got a great result or a great relationship or rapport. So if you've already done that somewhere else and that person's your next adversary to go and say, listen, I'll use them, they're unreal. Or if we're forever saying, I just need to talk to new people, and you forget about the past or the people you've used, it's just, you're forever doing the hard yards. Like, it's nice to actually coast along. There's so much heavy lifting involved to get to the analogy I use is the when you're going to catch a wave, it's a lot of paddling involved to catch the wave, and once you're on the wave, some people forget about how they got on it. Yeah, right. And as opposed to, you need to keep talking to the people I've already been talking to.
Yeah. There's a certain amount of effort and stuff that got you there. Don't just abandon
all the effort.
it. Yeah.
And people get to the crest of the wave in our industry, and then they give up because it's just not enough. And but from a client perspective, obviously we got a lot of landlords that we deal with, and tenants, and that's both sides we look after there. But from a retention standpoint, I wonder what it would look like if you didn't look after those people. Yeah.
I think that's the thing, client retention, no matter what business you're in, it provides a lot of stability, like a lot of endurance for your business, sort of thing. The bigger you can grow your recurring clientele, the more stable your business is going to be in the long term as well. And it's just, I don't know, like, I mean, there's always clients you don't really vibe with or whatever, and that's fine. You can't be the fit for everyone, just like everyone's not the fit for you.
Yeah.
But it's like when you work with people who you know and like, and who know you and trust you, it does make the work so much easier.
Yeah.
And nothing, starting with someone new is fine. Like building that trust, getting to know them and figuring it out. It's like dating. It's, there's a certain amount of fun there.
You have to have that.
Business wouldn't survive without the new leads.
You can't do the heavy lifting. You can't not do the heavy lifting. That has to be a core part of your business. Because even if someone referred me, you mightn't have to do steps 1 and 2, but you're still got to do 3 through to 10.
Consistently and reliably.
And there's going to be the people who never heard about you. You've got to build rapport with too. So I think whatever business you're in, if you've got, and understand that some people watching and listening to this will be starting out new.
Yes.
So they're going to have to do the heavy lifting, and just understand that you don't make, I don't have one meeting with you and then check my bank account and there's heaps in it.
Oh man, if only.
Oh yeah, correct.
The amount of meetings I've done in my time, I'd be set.
I think it's understanding that what I do today might not repay me for 6 months.
Yeah.
But then if I did nothing today, well, I'm guaranteed nothing will happen.
Yes.
and not having an ulterior motive. So I'm talking to you today because I want to get something out of you tomorrow. I think, you mentioned this before, that we're not always going to gel with everybody. Certainly in our job, we have to have a relationship where they want to work with us, but we also want to work with them. And we got to understand what people stand for.
And it can be a very emotive situation that you guys are in too, sort of thing. Like someone selling their house, and I'm sorry to keep harping on that one, but it's just the first one that comes to mind. But like that's such like buying or selling a house would be such a massive decision to make, and it might not always be something you necessarily want to do, but something you have to do. Like there could be so many things in there. So you might be in like a highly stressed, not your best self sort of situation, and then come to you and it's sort of like you've got to deal with all of that.
Yeah, we don't charge a counselling fee.
Yeah. Same man, I swear, the amount of small business owners who've done the... Not that I would get counselled by me. Most of mine's like toughen up, princess, and have some cement, but
No, but that's... that works for some people too. Like that is pull your head in. I think you're overreacting. You'll work out how to deliver the message to people, and it can be the same message but delivered differently. But I really think that no one's ever said to us, Ben, could you sell our house for as least as possible?
I really don't want to make any money out of this transaction, so if you can do that, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you could just get rid of this tomorrow for any price, I don't care. So we're always up against...
And you're like, sure, man, here's $10. Done.
Yeah, like I'm not sure how much repeat business we'd get doing that, but I think if we're always understanding going in that everyone wants as much as they can. Yeah. Human nature. Yeah. And everyone lives in the best street. And everyone lives in the best suburb. And my house is better than the other house. Yeah. It's okay. And it's not about us being right either. I think with anything with business, as I say, the customer's always right. I think most importantly is that we're there to do a job as any business owner is. We can only do as much as we can, because you'll end up, if we take on everyone else's problems, we're not going to be any good to anyone else, because you'll have mental health issues because you care too much about everybody else, and your own cup's empty. And
it's difficult too, because it's like when you actually give a shit, you really want to help people out. But at the same time, it's like someone else's problems are actually that person's problems. Yeah. And I'm one of the people who definitely, I'm like I'll put you in touch with this person. Have you tried this, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to send through this massive plan to you at no cost whatsoever, just to help you get, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I'm still learning after all these years to dial that back, because it's like if you take on too many people's problems, you can't help everyone.
Well, you can't help yourself.
Some people will suffer it. Yeah, there's that too. I'm in there somewhere as well, I guess.
The biggest thing we have is our intention is to, if you want to please everyone, sell ice cream. So that's a big thing I have with as long as we know we can sleep at night and we've done everything we can that the client asked us to, some stuff is just shit's going to go sideways at some stage, and it may not be our fault. Let's hope it's not. If it is, we should put a hand up and fix it.
But also too, sometimes things actually go wrong despite your best efforts.
But
you also do make mistakes. Like
Human nature.
I wouldn't say there would be a week that go by where I wouldn't have been like, oh, I should have done this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
hindsight's always 20/20 vision.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think if we're outwardly trying to help everybody and you don't, and you take on board everyone's problems, then you'll have a real problem with. You end up not wanting to talk to people, and you end up caring so much that you don't look after yourself, which means you're no good to anybody either.
Well, it makes you not want to do it all too, because it all gets a bit hard.
You lose the fun of doing it, and you lose the reason you're doing it, which is to help people. But you hit the nail on the head. Most people know what the right thing is to do. They might need poking and prodding, and some people are blinded; they just can't see what the right thing to do, and they won't do it because they just want to be right. They're the minority, which is lovely, and we're aware of it. And I think after a while they get aware of it too. That we just can't help everybody.
Yeah. So when you do find those people who, I think it is like those clients and stuff, for us I know anyway, where we really, like I said, know them, like what they're doing and stuff as well. And then especially for us, because we're marketing it, that makes a difference too, because we have to promote what they're doing. And then for them, when they know and trust us, that's that, yes, it's client retention, but it's also just, it does make for more enjoyable work, because the longer you work with someone, the more you get to know, the more you can provide value and stuff too. Is it like that in real estate as well? Yeah,
the only thing that'll ever get in the way of that is if and everything you've said is 100%. The only thing that gets in the way is when people take it for granted. Oh, they're going to always be with us. We've always looked after them. And then you stop thinking of ideas, or you stop providing what you provided at the start, and they won't go anywhere. And you have that sort of, if you're not, which we're really big on. We're really big on not reinventing the wheel, but constantly moving forward with what should we be doing, what's a better service, what else could we do? Let's just champion it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but let's at least think about it. Because I noticed when we opened our office up, which I love, we went pretty big with our marketing, and we've just refreshed our brand with all new colours and cars. And when we first came to the marketplace, which for the whole industry of real estate, so many people refitted their offices that had been like that for 20 years and went, well, hang on, we better do an overhaul.
We've got to smarten up now.
Loved it.
Yeah, competition's good, man.
I think it
makes us all be better.
Correct, and I think that's the beauty of challenge of business, is that everyone has the same opportunity you have. So if you go and do something and someone else ramps it up, it's not like, oh, they copied us. I'm like, we're all going to be better for this.
Exactly. We're just making our industry look better.
Yeah, exactly right. And the market itself goes, real estate's actually better now.
Yeah.
So everyone hopefully gets a better experience. The big thing that changes, it's a long game. The big thing that happens is a lot of people do that for, I'll call it 5 minutes, but they might do it for 3 months. And then they go, well, that didn't work.
And then just
I'm thinking, well, this what you do today might be 2 years till you get
that return that you're looking for.
It might be 6 months. Hey, it might be tomorrow. But you just got to keep in business. You just got to don't stress about thinking of things that have to be new. And you talk about TikTok and all this other stuff. Just continue to be a good human. Turn up and do what people want you to do, and I think you'll be okay.
Exceptional marketing advice there, Ben. I love it.
No worries.
But I think too, like we were saying about the which calls it like, doing those rebrands and refreshes, or, keeping in touch with your clients, like not taking them for granted and stuff. It's those kind of things I think that people, whether they've lost their passion for their business, or they've lost their passion for what it is that they do, or whatever it might be, it's kind of like people just stagnate.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, I think clients can tell, like people can tell, the market can tell when you don't have that oomph for your business anymore. And when you start sort of just coasting, whether it's about your own business and not trying to improve things, and not that you have to do a rebrand to improve things, I don't think that, but if you're not looking to improve what you do, if you're not actually, being grateful for clients that you have rather than just expect, and we see that a lot in our industry, and I don't mean to be negative, but it is something that we pick up clients from people because they're like, it's like they just stopped caring about us. And one of my big things is like our clients, we did a VIP night the other night and stuff, it's a silly thing. It's not silly, but it's
people
simple.
Appreciate it though.
It's just drinks and nibbles at our office and a few giveaways and stuff. It's just a nice thing, but people, they appreciate it because it's like, we did this because we care about you.
Well, it's effort based. I think there's always someone else, there's always another option, and I think that should be the driver for business owners without having paranoia, because you can get paralysis by fear. I'm not going to do anything because I don't know what to do. There's 50 other things I could do.
People being afraid that other people are watching them so they don't go out with something, and it's like, well, then nothing happens either.
Yeah. My motto with business has been I don't want people sitting on the fence. I don't want you to have a foot in each camp and say, well, to use them, but we want to have it where both feet are on our side of the fence.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit arrogant, and if we don't get that, it's okay, but that's our goal.
I was going to say, as a goal, I think that's great, having someone who's all in with you.
Committed.
So that then you can do your best.
Yeah. Well, we feel, and we won't get everyone, but we feel like that if we've got that belief from someone, or they're with us 100%, well, not that we'd treat them any differently, but they've got, only us would have to let them down from to have a foot in each camp, or they're at stages 1, 2 and 3, whatever, so that new dating part. They're not sure, we're still on the fence about it, but when they're there and they're 2 feet in, we're in.
Yeah. Yep.
So
it's much easier to throw all your oomph into something when you know the other side's committed as well.
We've got about 9,000 followers on our Facebook page. So and that's not everything either. It's not a tangible asset we could sell tomorrow or anything else. It sounds cool, but we built it. I think just before COVID or during COVID, about let's build something, and the goal was, and rather arrogantly, the goal was that we thought we might be able to start selling stuff off Facebook, off our own page. Like, let's take away the cost of the real estate portals. But the real inherent thing was, let's get as many followers as possible. I don't care if they're competitors. I don't care if they're people checking what we do. I think the old saying is, if you're following my page or something, you're still a fan.
Yeah.
Like, whatever that is. If you're watching me all the time, part of you goes, that's pretty cool.
You're still part of my audience, man. Yeah.
So
I'm still marketing to you.
Yeah, you're still getting it, and I reckon the onus is then on us to have the material or that information putting out that people find value in it. But we had all these people, and we've got a really good engagement with people. People like what we do. We don't overthink it. We keep it quite simple. But I said this before, we're really grateful that 9,000 people actually said, we like what you do.
Yeah.
And maybe some of those have changed and they don't, they just haven't unfollowed, but I'm not sure how the algorithms work there, but it's still a really cool number that I think, it's certainly not something we can hang our hat on to say, look how great we are, but I think it's being grateful for little small wins you'll have in your business.
Yeah, it's a vote of confidence, man. And that's the thing. It's sort of like, there's so many things you'll try, like for people who really do like trying different things, it's whatever kind of feedback loop you can get of like, yes, this is working. It's like, okay, cool. I'm not just a crazy person by myself coming up with magic ideas. Like, what I've got has value. People are appreciating it. They're responding to it. And that's part of that feedback loop that keeps you going, because sometimes you really need that. Yeah,
it's probably that bit. It's a bit unspoken about, but you get a bit of a warm feeling to say, well, you know, I wouldn't go out and say, listen, we've got 9,000 followers and all this other stuff as a promotion, but I think it's actually, you got to have small wins in business and you got to celebrate them, because if you're waiting for just the one big win, it can be a long way off.
It's a long journey. Yeah, that's what that meme about how like every time you buy from a local business, a real person does a happy dance sort of thing.
Correct.
And it is, man. Like, whatever kind of win you get in business that day, it's what keeps you going for the next day. And especially when you are a small business who, like, not that anything wrong with sole trader, but small business who employs other people as well. It's like, that's a whole other level of business sort of thing, because other people's livelihoods are now in your hands. So keeping your motivation, your momentum up is really important too. Which is that whole mental health thing, like you were saying before as well.
We got 30 plus staff, and I get a real buzz out of, and once again, we're providing a workplace for 30 people. Like, it's actually cool, and we have a really big appreciation night every year where we get that person who works for me plus their partner. We do a red carpet gala event, and we talk about retention of clients. I think what's understated is retention of your own staff.
Yeah, we just did a podcast on that recently as well. Like, it's talking again about that stability and everything for your business. On the other side, on the fence, the retaining staff, like good quality staff,
hard to find.
It just propels your business so much more than that continual having to lay the foundations over and over again sort of thing.
And you end up because everyone's got everyone's had a bad weekend or a bad day, so you end up, and I love that as being a business owner, being fully open door, come and see me. If you had a problem, let's chat about it. Because my motto with business has really been around, if you're happy at work, I reckon you'll be happier at home.
Yeah,
I agree. The reverse is if you're unhappy at home, but you feel safe at work, at least you can come and talk about it, and we're a big group, and it's not a pity party, but our role can only be
You got support there.
Yeah, you feel like I'm going to something, I can escape something if it's like that. And I'm not saying they are, but they're really happy at work, they'll be happier at home, they're not going to go home and kick the dog. And if everyone has a bad day, if you have a bad day at home, you can at least come to work, and we have a really, much as I hate the word, we have a really good culture where, people go, it is a bit of a laugh, and this is work to do, but we don't take ourselves too seriously, we don't take everyone else seriously.
And sometimes I find that, like, I know when things are difficult for me in my personal life, throwing myself into work is one of those things I can distract myself.
Immerse yourself in it.
Yeah, give myself some time out sort of thing. But the same thing, I think people spend so much of their lives, of each hours of their days and everything at work. If you're somewhere that you don't enjoy, that's going to impact your life. Like, we don't talk about work-life balance. It's like, it's just your life. It's just all of your life. Work is still your life.
Yeah, the numbers are quite alarming how much they tell you is work over your life, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
Holy hell.
Especially when you think, like, I don't know about you, but I know when I was in startup mode and stuff too, like, because I've started a few businesses, but with this one, like, I started as a sole trader, and then I bought the agency, and it was like starting up on a much bigger scale again. So it's like the startup years are especially tough. Yes.
Yeah, but it's do you think that looking back, this is what I think, and in the moment I was in it, and I'd say this to all business owners, in the moment, I remember trying to get an Ergon account, and I'm thinking, Ergon wanted, I don't know, let's just call it 20 grand, okay? They said, we want you to put money in a trust account, or, for 20 grand for us to connect power to where we were renting, and I understand why, because people open businesses, you never see them again, they lose their money. And I'm like, what do you think we're going to fail? Like, 20 grand. I said the thing, I'm not giving, out of principle, I'm not giving them 20 grand. They can connect it. I'll have an argument.
That is a lot.
I'll have an argument with them, like I will.
Right.
I'm just going to go to town, and that didn't last long. I then went. It's Ergon.
They don't give a shit, man.
And you're an agency at this stage with 3 people.
Yeah.
It might not. Those
and they have a monopoly here.
Yeah. They may just.
Where are you going to go?
Yeah. I'm not going to. I'm not going to be able to use any other service. So I was looking. I was going to say to you, sorry. Looking back, those moments which were massive at the time, I thought. I look back now and go, they were such small things.
Yeah.
Like, bring it on. I could have 10 of those now. But at the time, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do tonight? I'm going to have no power if I don't. I'm going to have to buckle.
Oh, the nail biters back in the day. And that's the thing, having a team now, not to demean anyone's problems, because it is big when you're in the moment, but someone will bring something and they'll be so stressed or whatever, and I'm like, that's all right, mate, we'll just do blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, how can you be so calm? And I'm like, dude, because I've been on that side quite a few times, and now the things are a little bit tougher to think through.
Experience helps, doesn't it? When you get so clouded at the start of, you can't see out, and what's business going to be like, and how long will it take. We had a business we opened up. We had this business we opened up originally opposite McDonald's in South Mackay in Juliet Street.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I was very much, I'd sit in my office, there was 4 of us at work, and I'd be like, we had our phones connected, we'd got the power on, and I was like, look at all the people sitting at the lights, and we're right there. And I could see, so I'm sitting in my office with the blinds open, but one-way glass.
Yeah.
And I could see people in their cars looking at our signage going, this is cool. I'm thinking, how come people aren't ringing me like this?
You just saw me. Come on in, mate. I'm right here.
Like, of course you've got to sell your house right
Bring
now.
your Maccas in. That's fine, dude.
And I thought, we've got the best spot and no one's ringing. But that's just it's all the little small things that have to happen. Then you get a call, and then you start to get 2 or 3, and then you get signs. I mean, ours is a bit different. We've got signs everywhere, so it's a bit of a, it helps us. But I do remember that thing thinking, why aren't they ringing? Like, look at them all. There's 20,000 cars get past today, and we haven't had a call. Surely someone's... But they're not thinking about real estate.
No.
They're thinking about picking the kids up, going to work. I'm going to get Maccas. I just got to be somewhere else. I'm going to get home. We'll have a chat and we'll think about selling a house.
And then I get home and there's 50 million other things to deal with.
Yeah, and then they also got 50 other choices of real estate in Mackay too. And you think, well, why haven't they called me? So all those little things I've learnt to, and once again, it's not from a place of arrogance, but you think, I've got all this really cool stuff, why wouldn't you use me? I think it's, if you do all the little everyone talks about 1%ers, there's the really big things you have to do, but if you just do all the little 1%ers, then it's quite funny how fast.
Things can add up.
Yeah, and then you got to, which is a bit, you're talking about the startup, how many hours you do to keep up with this stuff at the start, and then when do you hire someone? And there's a whole other subject about how many people do I need, and can I do it myself, and what do I delegate, and what do I keep, and who's doing the dollar productive stuff. There's a whole other journal around that.
Yeah, I know.
Which you'll learn on the journey.
I've hit that point now where it's sort of like I went away for a few weeks this year and have come back and gone, holy shit, my life is really complicated. It's really stressful. Things at home and work have gotten so intense. I'm actually like, I think I need to do a bit of getting back to basics. Like, it's complicated because of me.
Yeah.
I have overcomplicated things.
Yeah.
So I'm actually doing a bit of stripping back and stuff, which, as I mentioned to you, we're finished, like, Marketing Margaritas is finishing at the end of 2024, which obviously it does suck, but it's also like, okay, cool, now that frees up time in other places for me, sort of thing, because when we started this 3 years ago, it was such a big adventure, whereas now it's like I'm ready for new things, I'm ready for different things.
And you'll have now the energy to do that other stuff better than trying to do everything.
Yeah, and that's it. I'm spreading myself so thin at work and home. It's just, I know we keep going off on tangents, I'm so sorry, but
okay.
It's just good conversation.
I'm here as long as you need me.
Well, hopefully, I mean, it's our last episode. Fucking let's have at it, man. Like, come on.
Righto.
Bring on the tequila. All right. Okay, so going into 2025, what are the core client retention strategies that you and your team are going to be using? So what's the things you can share with people where you're like, these are the things we focus on, even if it's those 1% little things, what do you guys focus on to keep your clients your clients?
Well, really easy now, this time of year, Christmas. It's a little hooks, like what would, rather than me just, if you're a client, ring it, how you going? Good, thanks. Is everything, are we looking after your plate in our instance? Are we looking after, yep, that's great, yeah. Okay, anything else we could, you can only ask us so many questions the same. Like if I check in with you 2 months time, how are we going now? Still the same as 2, okay. Anything else we could do? Okay. So our retention is, like Christmas is a perfect time. Christmas is that, it's been a big year, hope you're having a break. What are you doing for Christmas? If someone,
so you guys actually pick up the phone.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. There's if one thing I could give business owners, stop emailing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to email.
I know,
but stop hiding behind the email or a text message. Like, I would love to hear your voice. I'd love to know what you think, good or bad. But I reckon you would too. Holy hell, because you can't understate the fact they know you're busy, but you took time to ring someone.
Yeah.
So our property managers pick up the phone. Our property managers send emails. Our agents pick up the phone. Our agents do handwritten, like it's the personal touch,
and it's those kind of things. People notice that because, I mean, first of all, it's personal, but also because it's disappearing more and more in our increasingly digital world.
Everyone's hiding behind technology. Like if you've got a problem, pick up the phone. If you've got a problem with a client, I want to know what you're thinking. I don't want to read an email and I don't know how to read that. As in, is he having a go at me, or are they happy? I can't tell. You know, people misread the message.
So easy to misread comms, especially if you're like, you're trying to keep things succinct, but then it's too abrupt and they don't understand, or you try to explain something, but then it's so convoluted and massive, you've written them a novel, and they're like, that looks hard.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deal with that.
I
did that to a client today. I felt so terrible, but I had to put all this stuff in writing, and I'm like, she's not going to read
but
this.
Sometimes you have to. I just think...
And then follow it up.
Correct. It's either ring them first, I'm going to send you the email, or send the email, so I want to talk to you about the
thing, because
of this, it's a bit long-winded. You know, I did not want to talk about it, I did want to put it in writing.
But you need to have some stuff in front of you for it,
And for everyone's sake, we've got to have an email trail.
Yes.
Not for any other reason to say, listen, I did send you that, or hey, they can go back over it. Oh, they sent, that's right, that makes sense now. And an hour for property management especially. Got a vacate happening, we've got an entry notice, could you please let me know if I want me to fix a dishwasher? If we don't have that and it's verbatim, just back and forth, people are busy. If the biggest thing, one of the big things that probably people do first is, I'm so busy, and they think they're the busiest people. But the other person is probably just as busy. And yet we go, I'm so busy I can't do it. And we don't give them a time of day because they're busy. Like right now with houses, people...
Yeah, your market's insane right now, man. Like your industry is a bit chaotic.
Yeah, and it's hard to keep up. And it's hard to keep up, and we can't please everyone. There's going to be, if there's 5 or 10 offers on a house, 4 or 9 people are going to miss out.
Exactly, you can't all have it.
Bad news. I just don't have enough stock. Rentals are the same. We've got to give the bad news. We've got to give the good news. But someone misses. So it's having good communication there, but it's also, I just can't help everyone. We want to, but communication is. I would let's pick up the phone. It's easy to hide behind emails and texts, and you get someone in a bad mood, you get someone in a great mood. You just two perfect examples. It's either too short or it's too long.
And that's it. I think it's like you said, it's just taking that time out because everyone's lives are only getting busier. Like, I don't know very many people who are like, you know what, I've had a really cruisy week. Like, when does anyone say that?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just, and I hate it because I get stuck in that thing as well where people are like, oh, you know, how you going? You've been busy. And I'm like, I can't even start to answer that. But
How long
it
you
is.
got?
Yeah, exactly. Whereas it's sort of like, yeah, people really do notice when you stop and take that time. But also, that's your job. You know, like, your job is actually to help people. So help them. Like, all the other shit that you do, like, I know for me personally, there's a lot of other shit that I do that I reckon is just stuff I probably don't have to worry about as much as what I do. Because it's really just the helping people. That's the point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the end product. The end product is the most important part, which is how do we help people. But people don't really care. I don't mean in a bad way. People don't really care how much work you have to do it. They want the end product.
Yeah.
So, and it's not about you go and tell them a story and say, you know, I'm the busiest man on earth, and sorry, I've had 55 calls today. They just switch off.
Yeah.
So when someone says to our guys is, how are you? I'm so busy. It's really a conversation killer because what do you say? So am I. Oh, okay. All right. I'll see you later. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm really good. How are you? Yep.
Yeah. It's like, well, and that's it. I think that busy comment too can be such a surface level thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, how you doing? I'm like, man, I've had a really shit morning, but it's picked up this afternoon. You know what I mean? Like, I don't always do it, but I do try to answer that question honestly because I just think if someone's asking me, they might just be just asking. But on the off chance they actually give a shit, I'm going to actually give them a real answer.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
And it surprises people all the time when I give a real answer because I think everyone's so used to everything's fine or, oh, I'm so busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the big one is always, how are you? I'm flat out.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean? Compared to what? You know what I mean? And I think...
Were you cruising through like 3 months ago and now it's...
all you did was stopped anyone saying anything more because they're like, you're too busy to even talk to. Well, I'm not that busy. Well,
and it puts up a wall.
That's what I mean. It's just this, I don't want to talk to anyone, I'm pretty busy. Oh, sorry, I'll keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry for disturbing you.
I know.
I get in that bad habit with the team too, sort of thing. Like when I'm on deadline, I try to let everyone know beforehand so that they know that like interruptions aren't a good time. But otherwise, it's like when someone comes in, I used to have this bad habit of like, I'd keep typing while I was looking at them.
You're trying to get them to pick up the message you're putting out.
No, my hands would just keep going. And then I was like, I've just got to physically stop and give you my full attention because I'm having two conversations otherwise.
Such a powerful thing. You're never not going to get, hey, have you got 5 minutes? Hey, have you got 5 minutes? And if you go, I don't, they'll just stop coming to you.
Yeah.
And you can't have that. You've always got to understand your role as the business owner or whether you're a manager, whatever it's going to be, that's just that's life. So you'll have to find your time after their 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And also, if I'm in a meeting, the phone doesn't play a role. It's not like, people don't, hey, do you want to get that, your phone? No, it doesn't matter. Here, my phone's over there. What do you want to do? I want to be present with you so that I'm not having this conversation for an hour and interruptions. I am, okay, let's get to the point,
And so you can retain what's happening and stuff too. Again, that's if I'm having the two conversation things. Yeah, exactly. I forget what's going on in places.
And they do too. They actually leave and go, wasn't really listening.
Yeah.
You know.
You're like, cool, that was useful for us.
And part of it, you'll hear them then, if that's the case. I mean, I hear people go and talk to other people and then they will be just, not really listening. They'll walk 3 corridors down. Hey, I've got this problem. And the next person is like, I heard you ask the other person, but they really didn't care. You know what I mean? Like it's try and be present with anyone who sincerely wants your time because they want it for a reason.
I think that comes back to, again, then that, like you said, just picking up the phone, the communication, like actually just reaching out to people and being a real person sort of thing. And I find too, like you said, like, yes, there's a couple of questions you might be asking people over and over again, but there's a reason for that too. It's kind of like
you want something.
Yeah, you're just trying to get that feedback and stuff from them too because that's what, I think not being afraid of people's feedback, like actually asking for it and acting on it, that I think shows, like, I think that's really good for retention too, you know what I mean? Even if what someone has to say to you is not a good, like, we made a mistake the other day with a client and I went and apologized myself because I was like, oh shit, man, I'm so sorry. You know, like, we normally don't make mistakes, but I'm going to do this and this personally. And they're like, oh gosh, that's fine. And I'm like, no, it's not. I feel really bad, but you know, thank you for being so nice about it, sort of thing. You know, like, it doesn't feel good, but it's so much better to address it.
At least you know what they're thinking. Because the other thing is,
because other people won't tell you, and then they'll just fuck off, and then you'll be like, whatever happened there?
Yeah, and then you'll try and contact them too late, and then they don't want to talk to you anyway because no one really wants confrontation.
It's exactly. Confrontation is not, like, there's very few people who enjoy that. No,
they're not typically the ones you want to hang around with anyway.
True.
they're out there, but you know, be careful of the question you're going to ask, because if you have stuffed up and you won't own it, and you ask someone, can ask what happened, and they tell you, and then you bite back, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're better off, once again, hindsight, you'll think, I should never have rung that person. It's one of those things that just happened. It's like being really calm in any situation is a key thing for anybody, let alone business owners.
Yeah.
You've got so much stuff coming in, let alone you've got so much stuff coming out. If you can just be the same level through everything, it's a hard skill to learn.
I was going to say, how do you do that? Any insight on that one?
Because
sometimes I'm great at it and sometimes I'm absolutely shit at it.
Yeah, but sometimes sometimes you'll want to really, like, just let go, like, oh, this is but okay, cool. Can you give me? You don't have to have answers for everybody. I think the biggest thing, if you're a business owner or you're the manager, we have this inbuilt thing that we have to be able to have an answer. It's okay to say, people, I don't really have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Because it might be totally something that's abstract to you. It might be a relationship problem. Because the problem's not always the problem. Do you know what I mean? When you peel the onion back and someone's come to you with something, and you'll say, hang on, explain that to me again. They've spoken it out. They start to realise, oh, they've got me here.
Yeah.
So is the real problem? Yeah, well, I'm just annoyed at that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And you already know what to do. You just don't want to do it.
But I think if there's already a big fire and you go and throw fire on it, throw fuel on it, the fire only gets worse. And then what have we both achieved? They didn't come to you for you to yell at them.
I'm pretty good, like, I know for me personally, I don't have, like, the anger stuff. Like, I used to have a really bad temper when I was younger. I've gotten quite good with that. Mine's the stress. So there's some times where I'm just like, oh, this and this and this has gone wrong, this has gone wrong. I'll be like, that's fine, we'll just try that. If that doesn't work, then we've always got this. It's not a drama. Whereas other times I'll be like, okay, cool, no, great, what do we do? Like, I'm just like, how can I just be cool, calm and collected 24/7? That's what I want to know. Got a solution for that one?
The analogy I use is, if you thought that in everyday life and in meetings and in business, that everyone was kicking around a hand grenade, and someone's eventually going to kick the hand grenade out, the pin out of the hand grenade, you'd be ready for something, wouldn't you? You'd be like, this is what could happen.
Right.
So when it comes out, you're not surprised. It's the one where you go oblivious to anything ever going wrong, and it goes wrong, and you're like, what the hell just happened?
Like, yeah, it just catches you by surprise.
The pin may never come out, by the way, so I see you thinking, oh, hang on, I don't live in fear that something's always going to go wrong. Sometimes the pin never comes out. But there'll be situations and scenarios that you're like, this is a bit edgy, or I'm going to have this chat, and maybe it'll go great, maybe it'll go bad, and if it went bad, what would I say? So if you can have some thought, that way it's not I'm so stressed. Well, what if you got time to think about it? And sometimes you'll just get someone to throw a hand grenade in there and you're not even ready, and you're like, whoa, hang on, the problem's not the problem. And if it is the problem and you can fix it, well, you fix it, put your hand up. But if you can only learn that over time and be aware that blowing up isn't the answer. Well, that's never fixed anything.
And it's being in those situations multiple times, like I said before, the experience,
just jump into it
and stuff too. It's kind of, I think now my big thing as well is trying to help others realise the solutions themselves. Because especially if it's something where I'm like, I've been in that situation multiple times, I do know what to do, but if I'm always giving you the answer, I'm not actually giving you the opportunity to figure out the answer as well.
Yeah, if people keep coming to with the questions, you tell me what you think we should do first.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get more into that habit
I haven't
too.
thought about that. Yeah. Well, why don't we do that? Not because I don't want to help you.
Exactly, help support them to do it, not just throw it back in their face, but help them do it. But yeah.
It's the bit we spoke about at the start about watching people grow because they got it inside them. Every chance they got it inside them. They just haven't gone to that place to find it. And then they go, never had that conversation before. Well, if you have it again, won't you feel better? I've done that now.
And that's it. There's so many things too, like even for me personally, where it's like you might be dreading doing something and then when you do it, you're like, actually, that was pretty good.
Yeah. What was I worried
that
about?
went really well.
People flying, people, whatever you have some people have some real phobias, I get that. It's not like
different.
I can fix that stuff.
No.
But people who go, oh, I'm so stressed about it, and then they go, wasn't so bad. I'm going to go to the gym. Oh, that'll be horrible. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Whatever it is you're doing, that you're always, it's the first reaction I think they talk about with the human body is to protect yourself or live in fear something bad's going to happen. If you can change that, and I'm no guru on that, but to say, well, what's the worst thing that could happen?
That's what I do, worst
Maybe I
case
get it
scenario.
wrong. Maybe.
If you can deal with the worst case scenario, then why not have at it?
But you got to leap into that. If there's a problem and I've never had it before, let me go and find out what that's like. Okay, how can I fix it? What's the problem? I've never had this happen. Well, you're never going to have it happen if you keep running away. Just go to the problem, because you'll end up. Today's problem will be tomorrow's problem, but 4 more of them. And you're like, should have dealt with this yesterday.
That's it. The longer you leave it, the worse it gets. Yeah. The less fun it is.
You know what you say? I was just about to ring you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been busy. They're like, bullshit. You know what I mean? And then you're like, I should have rung this person. Just ring them. Just fix the problem.
And again, too, it's because busy can just be code for procrastinating as well.
That's all it is. They can see through it. They're busy too. Because if you said, oh, I'm just sorry, I've been so busy. That's good, Jade. I've been really busy too. Oh, have you been as busy as I have though? Oh, what do you say?
Can we have a pissing combo?
Yeah, correct.
Because that'll improve the situation.
I'm sorry, but I didn't get a chance to ring you back. I've got no other reason for that. I really need to fix this up. How can I help?
Yeah, just own it.
Hard to yell when you're apologising, isn't it? Like, I think that's the best trait too, is be really calm, whether that's breathing before it, whether you understand what's going to happen and you go, what's the worst thing that can happen? You might yell at me, that's cool.
Do you get that a lot in real estate? Like, do people kind of reach the end of their tether and I guess...
But it's not the problem. It's not the problem. The problem is I've got to be at that place at a certain time. And the things we can't control are... removalists this time of year. I can't get a removalist. Or the removalist can only do that day. I've got to be in the house. Can you get the seller out? Well, no. Well, I'm going to have to cancel removalist. We're not buying the house. Well, hang on. They never, but we've had that.
Yeah.
Solicitors.
Because it was probably to them, they're feeling like this is hopeless, this is hard.
What am I going to do? I'm going to live on the street. The removalist guy has got he's not going to negotiate with me at all. I'm going to be that day. I'm going to put it on your front lawn. Whether that's right or wrong, that's what they think. So there's, they're just quick analogies. There's that stuff. There's solicitors between solicitors, with all due respect, solicitors, they don't have the greatest skills to be able to gently say to someone, hey, it just goes to whom it may concern, or we're acting on behalf of the seller, no, you can't have this, all the best. That's what it should write. And I'm like, holy, you just punched him in the face. And the other solicitor goes, what did you say? Okay, I've been using this one for a while, but watch me go. And then the two parties...
I'll get my as previously discussed kind of thing out.
And then the two people who are actually just trying to move in and move out go, what just happened?
Yeah.
So it's certainly not a dig at solicitors. They've got a role to play too, but sometimes that happens. There's so much other stuff that is not... If I could I fixed it for you, well, we'd all be... This doesn't work. and you can't believe it will. But the problem is we... what we don't talk about? We don't talk about all the good stuff that happens in a day, but if one thing went wrong,
we tend to
I'm going to tell you about that. I'm going to tell 7 other people. Now, if you've got a problem and you tell 7 people, you're the problem. Whereas if you just go and fix the problem, geez, it would go away.
It's interesting how we're geared like that though, hey? It's sort of like, I can be having the best day and then in the last 5 minutes something will go shitty, and then that night I'm like, I had such a crap day. And then it's like, oh, well, actually this happened and this happened.
What else went well?
Yeah, you kind of just, you tend to fixate on the negative, or you're like, do a presentation and it'll be like, oh, people are like, that was great, and you're like, yeah, but I fucked up this one part. It's like, that's the bit, you just feel like, I let myself down.
That's the inner critic though. You'll be aware of it, but you're never going to, even if you did a great presentation, you'll say, could have done that a bit better.
Yeah, there's just always something.
You can't live by that either. You'll do your head in. Don't worry about that.
Okay, so our client retention strategies are we're picking up the phone,
Let's
actually
talk
talking to people.
Perfect time of the
We're
year.
owning our mistakes when they actually happen.
Yep.
Anything else that you think, especially, going into 2025, it's a fresh new year, etc. Anything else that you and your team want to be focusing on?
And then, the other thing that follows on for those is talking to people again in the new year. Welcome back. It's a new year. Did you have a good break? What are your plans this year? There's really isn't another time of the year if you're in business now to be able to reach out to people and say Merry Christmas, or what are you doing? What are you doing for? Spend some time with people. I understand if you've got a really big business, it's hard to talk to everybody, but do something.
But that December, January period is that good time to be doing those personal touch bases.
I know it's quite funny in my business. Online shopping is a big thing. We got, I would say I'd have 75% of our 75% of my staff are females, and not to be sexist, but a lot of stuff turns up that's online shopping. Okay,
Sorry, I've got 3 packages arriving this week.
so I make a joke with when it turns up at reception. I say, any of that for me, and it never is. So I'm really looking forward to Christmas because I know I'm going to get a hamper will turn up from a client. The cards turn up. I'm like, this is pretty cool. So if I feel like that, then I reckon the other client does too. And it might be, it's why we put our Christmas tree up in November. 1st of November at work, we're up.
Shocking, absolutely shocking.
Otherwise it's 3 weeks and then you pull it down. I'm like, where was the fun? It's such a massive thing here. So November 1st, we've got lights everywhere. Enjoy it. Everyone feels better. It's Christmas.
Yeah, it's more festive, I guess.
Well, we don't put Easter eggs out for a month and a half beforehand. We do it the week before, but Christmas,
I guess you've got some restraint in some areas.
Yeah, people would want that. But I think this time of year is such a good time just to say, for yourself, reset, work out what you want to do. For your clients, say g'day, reach out. What are you doing? I think the other good thing about Christmas too is clients understand that you are going to have a break. It's the one time of the year that you get allowance to have time off. Take it. And if you don't, that's on you. And if you work all the way through it, you talked about this before, early on, is about sometimes that stuff's because of you. I didn't have a break. Don't blame everyone else you didn't have a break. That's on you. But trying to do everything when everyone's not here and then come back, so I never really had a break. No one cares.
That's it, man, because it was just
Have the
that's
break.
only you that gets affected. And it is, I think, too, I've done that before. I might do 1 or 2 days in the office over that Christmas break just because I find it nice and clear.
Correct.
But at the same time, when we come back in January, half my clients are still on holidays. So it's not like you come back and it's actually super intense a lot of the time.
It's a slow start, isn't it?
Yeah, you can kind of actually come back and feel your way into things a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like you leave it. You're like, oh God, everyone's got a deadline.
Exactly. December really is quite
they're
a
just done
push.
now. January, when do you think you'll have that by? Oh, well, we don't need it yet. We just want to get ahead because we're not really going to ramp it up until...
We know this is going to be when we ramp things up. Yeah, exactly.
So it's like being in a boxing match and getting punched in the face and saying, what'd you hit me for? That's what December's like, and so's November. So if you don't think that's going to happen...
That's a great analogy.
Well, if you don't think that's going to happen, you go, what'd you hit me for? Like, it's this time
You're in
of
the
year.
boxing ring, mate. Yeah.
It's going to happen. Be aware of it. And then in January, understand that it's going to be a bit slow and don't be so agitated that people aren't ringing me back. And, well, they're on holidays. It's going to... Business will ebb and flow, but over 12 months, it's like people map their businesses weekly and what happened, how many connects did I have, and I'm like, pan it out, do it over a month, and depending on your businesses, do it over 3 months. What's it look like? Because what I did today might not get a result for 2 months, but we have this.
Yeah, it's those lag effects.
Yeah, it has to happen. If you fall over someone who goes, yeah, I'm glad you rang me today, I've got $10,000 to spend on marketing and all this other stuff, wouldn't life be easy?
Yeah.
But there'd be 50 of you. You'd have so much competition it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah, that's true too.
So you've got to be careful what you wish for. But it's the heavy lifting part that gets the result that we probably take for granted and we don't appreciate that. I spoke to them here, but hang on, don't let that secret out. I've got to talk to more people down here to get it over here. Geez, I'll just keep that going, and that whole thing slides.
Especially when you've got, like, I know for us, so, like a website could be between $5,000 to $20,000 even. You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that, like, it takes a while for that person to come in and have a meeting and talk about it with you, and then you get the quote proposal to them. They don't then, I mean, we have had some people who will just approve something, you know, in that same day, and you're like, holy shit, wish I had a lazy 10K to just be like, yeah, go ahead. But for a lot of people, it is, they then need just as long to sort of think
Yeah.
about, like, is this really what we want to be doing? Are there other options? You know, is this proposal, can we trust these? You know, like, there's so much
Yeah.
for them to consider with it too. And again, like buying a house, that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars that people are spending.
Buying and the selling part it's a decision most people can't make on the go. Well, they shouldn't make it as in, saw it today, I'm buying it today.
I did that with this house. But to be fair, this place was built by one of my really good friends. She's a property valuer, and she built the place. And then when I was looking to buy, she was roughly looking to sell. I came through and I gave her an offer that day, and she took it. So
Okay, perfect.
I didn't even have to deal with a real estate agent.
Okay, disappointing.
But now my partner and I are looking for a house next year together. And that's going to be interesting because I'm incredibly decisive.
Yeah.
And he likes to think about things for
Okay.
a long time.
You might
And in
have
real
some
estate,
challenges there.
that could be very difficult.
Could be in the market we're in. Although we've got people, once you see enough, it's probably like anything. It doesn't matter if it's cars, shoes, whatever people are buying, fishing rods, houses, different levels. But once you see enough of them, you then know, well, that's what I want. The problem is the person that starts shopping today, first house, love it. Oh my God,
Yeah.
buy it now. And I'm like, oh. They normally sleep on it, and then they go, oh, holy hell, I got caught up in that. You know what I mean? So it's like, woo. Our job's to get as much as we can for the client, but the person that puts an offer in, gets accepted, changes their mind overnight because we raced it, it's not
That just wastes everyone's time.
It's the
yeah.
same as someone saying to you, I'm going to do this now, let's do it, sign up, then they wait. You're like, I'm going to get cracking. Because you get a feel for it in business after a while. Is this going to happen? Like, I don't know. I reckon, let's just see. But there's always that bit as a salesperson, business owner, employee is, how far do I push someone? I think it's a long game. Your life's a long game. Career's a long game. You know,
I think business is definitely a long game, man, and it's one of those things. It's like it's a marathon, not a sprint, as well. Like,
and you'll have good years. You'll have. I remember we opened up in the downturn, and everyone said, "You are mad. You were going really well." I said, "But I've got a longer vision of this. I didn't pick the downturn because I waited for a downturn, so I'm going to start my business. It just felt right that I wanted to help people, staff, but also people in the community. And in hindsight, the tough years is what, I mean, when you're in the trenches, it's wish everything was great.
Yeah, exactly. When you're in the trenches, things feel like shit. Like, there's no masking it. It feels difficult as hell.
And you think, well, I'm never going to make any money. Why did I give this up? Or what am I? You do have those thoughts, but I'm really happy that we had those 3 years of really hard, couldn't sell a house.
Because then you appreciate when shit's good, man.
Yeah, well, you get to hone your skills too. I think that's,
Makes you good at what you do.
In our industry now, everyone's a real estate agent, by the way. Like, it's pretty, I mean, the owner themselves is
Well,
the
I mean, if I
cheapest
can't
option.
do anything, I'll probably just come be a real estate agent.
Done.
Yeah,
Yep, correct. That's easy. So there's a bit of that stuff. So it's you can't sugarcoat. Anyone that says business ownership is great isn't telling you the whole story. Even the most successful ones will tell you the ups and downs, the highs and lows.
It's amazing and shit all in one day,
nights.
over and over.
Yeah. I don't ever not want to go to work because I love real estate. The reason I'm still in it, and people say to me, Ben, why do you still do open homes? I say, because I love it.
To enjoy it, yeah.
Like,
I still love marketing, man. Marketing, it's my jam. Like, it's fun.
If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it because I'd be doing the wrong thing by the client. But I love it. I genuinely, I love it, and I'm fairly certain most of my staff love it. They'll have bad days they hate it, but if you went over 3 months, do you love it? Love it.
Yeah. Yep.
And I've got some sprinkling of crap in between. That's going to happen.
Yeah, that's just life, man.
But that happens in any job.
You don't get the good without the bad.
If you're going to pray for rain, you better like playing in the mud. And that's the bit people forget that happens. They're like, oh, why did this happen? You're just so busy. You asked for it. That's what happened. You put it out there, you got really busy, and now you're complaining.
Yeah.
I remember the first day, I talk about this in our when we first opened up, the phone wouldn't ring. And now agents can be really upset that the phone rings so much. I wish it would stop. I'm like, remember the day you wanted the phone to ring because you wanted a listing or something else? And you were so shitty. Now you're shitty because it rings too much, please. Come on. Like, let's
reality check, people.
Yeah.
No, it's so true. So we're normally our quotes are pretty steady, except for those first couple of weeks, May 2020, when COVID thing, we had no quotes and it was like, holy shitballs, it's like a tap turned off.
Yep.
And everything came gushing back because all of the government programs and stuff came on. But this year has been our first year of actual like up and down as far as the pipeline goes, which is not something I've experienced before. And I'm realizing how arrogant and lazy I was before because everything just came to me all the time without trying.
Yep.
And so now I'm like, oh, you actually have to try to generate leads, and oh, maybe that's what marketing is for. Shit. But then we'll get all these glut of quotes, and I'll be like, oh man, I don't want to have to quote shit. And then I'm like, remember a couple of weeks ago when you were stressing because the pipeline wasn't looking very good? Correct. And you were like, if only we had some more quotes, like, reality check is very useful.
It's we'd always like it just to be a business. I know today I'm going to get 3 and tomorrow I get 3 and I'll do 3 and there's another 3 and it's just, once again, if that was as easy as that, everyone would be doing it.
Exactly, everyone would be doing it, and just having that resilience to be able to last through those times when things are really good, it can be stressful. When things are really bad, it can be stressful.
It's counselling yourself is the hardest.
Yeah, coaching yourself through it. And like you said, even just not ignoring, but like working through that inner critic stuff too. Because it's very easy when things aren't going well to be like, I'm obviously shit at this. I should stop.
Yeah, when's it going to change? Maybe it's something I've done. Am I in the wrong job? Like you just got to, however you want to deal with it. My big thing is, I'll have that lying down at night. Your work keeps ticking over. What have I got to do? What have I got? I'm like, I'll just literally say, shut up. And think about something else. So
I do a similar.
Sounds stupid. It sounds like a bit of a weirdo, but I'm like, that's the biggest thing I've found out how to do it. Is just to say, shut up. What are you thinking? Mine's
quite similar. I'll lie there. I'm like, Jade, what are you going to do about it right now? That'll be helpful. I'm like, you can't do anything right now that'll be helpful, can you? You know what'd be helpful? If you went to fucking sleep. That'd be helpful.
Or the other thing, exactly right. Or the other thing I'll do is I'll get up and work for an hour.
Yeah, right.
I'll go, I can't lie, it's annoying me. I'll get up for an hour, it might be midnight, might be 2 in the morning, I'm tossing and turning, I've just got to get up. I'll get up, smash it out, and I'll be clear of thought. And then also you're then like, holy, I'm so tired. So you go straight to sleep. So it's perfect. The problem is then if you get up at 2, you're awake till 4 and then your alarm's open at 5. You're like, holy hell.
5? Do you get up at 5?
Yeah.
Ugh. Wow.
Best time of the day. I'm joking. It's like the best house, the best street.
Yeah.
8 o'clock's probably the best time. I don't actually know. I wouldn't have any idea.
All subjective.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so we've gone on a lot of different tangents, but I really, really liked it. It's just, I think that's one of the things that I'm really going to miss about this podcast is I just really enjoy talking to people about their businesses. Like, I'm not actually really a people person, to be honest. I don't really like people that much.
You wouldn't know.
But I love business, and I love learning about how people think about it and how they do stuff and why they do it and all that sort of thing. So thank you so much for just having such a wide-ranging conversation with me. I really appreciate it.
It's business is, if you enjoy it or if you put it out there to enjoy it, it's so much easier.
Yeah, it's even when it's tough, like it's just remembering like there's not that it's fun, but it's like there's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
No, I think more people, it's just simply not for everyone. Not everyone wants to own a business.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are pushed into business because someone says you'd be great at it, you'd be great. There's so much other stuff that goes with it. But we need the workers. We need the workers that aren't business owners. We need business owners. We need leaders. We need people that want to share stuff to help other people. Like, the biggest thing I can offer other business owners is only my time. I sit with people at times and say, if I want to catch up, I'll tell you everything. Provide a competition.
Yeah. But I do the same with people that are coming through and they're like, oh, can I, bend your ear on this? I'm like, yeah, sure, make a time with me. Because it's like, dude, I've had so many people help me along the way. It would feel wrong not to give back in that way, And
it costs you nothing. And it should be something that it doesn't drain you. I love telling people. Telling's the wrong word. I love talking to people about their dreams, and sometimes you've got to say to them, I don't know. If you did another year doing what you're doing right now, would that kill you? Because you'd just learn more. And these are things I think you should do.
Experience is such a great teacher, man.
And then there's
no replacement for experience.
No, but but I turned 50 last month, and I'm like,
happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm like, there's so much time. Like anyone who's 20, 30, 40, 50, it doesn't, like no one's ending it tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Like someone who's 20 could learn so much more about life, but that job or whatever they want to do, losing 10 years at the front the income you'll earn at the end of it by knowing more is...
Could be substantial, and you could do it a lot easier with a lot less stress. It's not easier, but yes, definitely.
It's like a back-ended contract. You don't get paid as much up front, but down the end you get
a much bigger return.
It's yeah. I encourage anyone who can and who has the get up and go and the nous and to think about doing business, but you got to be the right person. You got to understand what you'll have to give to get. You just got to.
And it's like anything in life. There's sacrifices, man. There's pros and cons to it. Just like working for someone else has its pros and cons. Working for yourself or having a team or whatever has its pros and cons.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is you're spot on about the sacrifice part. People typically don't want to give up something to get something. And that's probably no, I don't want to change anything, but I want to be successful. Well, I don't think those two go together.
I'm not sure 1 + 1 = 2 then.
I saw one of those graphics which was want to win and the lineup and what it takes to win.
Yeah.
This line, there's no one in this line, but want to win, everyone's lined up. This other queue had no one in it. I'm like, we all want to win, but you've got to do all the other stuff to get into that lane. Anyway, I hope that helps someone out there today.
I'm sure it has.
It's been great, thank you.
It's all right, thank you. Is there any final wrap-up tip, any final thought that you would like to leave everyone with for 2024?
Probably the big one that everyone's guilty of is don't let perfection get in the way of progress.
Oh, man.
Everyone's trying to get it exactly right. No, it's not right. No, I've got to change. What do you think it looks like? If that's the paralysis by fear. I think that's... No one's criticising you saying, oh, that could have done with the heading there or that could have done with the...
But things also never be perfect. Like we know that marketing, especially what we do, is so subjective. It's sort of like, should have this or this been there? It's like, yeah, you could have, but that doesn't actually, it's not like you get an A+ and that's now correct. It's not like school where it's sort of like graded. It's,
We've got some massive billboards around town. I look at them all the time and I go, oh, what else could we have done there? Or... Because we are in the public, you can't not see them. But then I think, what's it matter? We're not going to put something stupid up there.
Yeah, as long as there's nothing actual hurting your business or whatever.
Yeah, it's a branding
which some places do sometimes.
Some do. The other thing is don't give small problems big energy.
You're really fucking personal attacks today.
Oh, well, I'm not telling it to you because that's who you are. But
no, I'm just saying. You trust me. That's something I've been.
We give all these small things. Fuck, what am I going to do with that? And I'm thinking, in the grand scheme of all the things, it's like my ergon thing. In the moment, I was like, it was more or less, I can't believe they're going to give me 20 grand, a loan or something, whatever it was. I can't remember what it was, but it was a big number. I'm thinking, I need every cent I can get to kick me off. Like, why don't you just back me? I'm a business. I'm going to pay my bills. They don't know me from a, bar of soap. And there's however many business owners that use power, and they've been burnt by a fair few, I'd imagine. So that's like, there's so many little things that happen that we get attracted to it. Like, there's a problem over there. I just want to talk to you about that. I want to talk to everyone about this problem. What if you just went to the problem, fixed it? Would you have to tell who would I tell about my problem if I fixed it? That's what I think.
There anymore.
No, I think just there's so much bigger things in life that people are going through, that businesses are going.
Yeah, I think with mine, I always say with us especially, like marketing is not life or death.
No.
Like it's not sort of like if you, yes, you will make a mistake. You are going to make mistakes. And as soon as you feel comfortable with the fact that, okay, I'm going to fuck up occasionally, but I can always try and do my best, that's the motivation to be in. But also it's like, if you put something out there and it's like, oh no, that had the wrong something on it, it's sort of like, well, that's okay because no one died.
Yeah.
If it's like, oh, I meant to get this to you this morning, but it's coming this afternoon. I'm really, really sorry, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's cool, man. It's not like I was sitting there about to slip my wrist if you didn't send it through.
But at least you let them know too. Like, communication's a big thing. Where are you actually at with it?
Letting people know you care, that you're thinking about them.
Correct.
I do worry sometimes about being a little bit too much communication at times because I am a big communicator. But I do think it's sort of like, I know on my side, like if I've asked someone to do something and I know nothing about your industry, I have no idea the amount of legwork you have to do, but if it's been like a week and I haven't heard from you, I'm probably like, oh, they probably don't really give a shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
whereas it might take 4 weeks to just hear back from someone else for you to do your job.
Yeah.
I don't know that though.
No, that's my point. I think the communication is storytelling. But listen, this is our job. I don't want to overstate. But what will happen? What the next steps are? You're going to hear from me with this. Then we're going to. When we're negotiating with people, I'm really upfront with people about this is what's going to happen. When they put an offer in, I'll let you know. Then I'm going to go away and work with them. I'm going to come back to you every time there's an increase in the offer or change of negotiation or anything else. I always say, are you okay with that? If they go, yeah, that's fine. And if they go, no, I'm not happy, okay, good. So
I find I've never had anyone have an issue with that over communication. I worry about it sometimes, but I find most people, like, they like, even if it's just that, hey, you know, I'm planning on doing a thing tomorrow. Was there anything that you wanted me to consider for it? You know what I mean? So it's like, I haven't done it yet.
Can you stop talking to me?
Yeah.
Sorry, you've sent me too much communication lately.
Yeah.
Just let me know when it's done. No, this is, someone sends me something like, this is refreshing. Like, it's a rare form to be able to talk to people and that people over-communicate. And I don't mean you just, you know, there is a bit of that.
Yeah, I think some people people get a little bit too flowery with it and stuff as well. It's like, I don't need to know every time you flip it, open your
it's professional.
email.
Hey, this is what's happening. Here's the roadmap. I'll talk to you at every point of this.
And because as a professional, you know those milestones along the roadmap. That's what I say to the team. The other people don't.
They've got no idea.
So you know what I mean? Like, for example, like a website's like one of the biggest projects we do, and there's a whole chunk that we have to do before the client sees anything.
Yeah.
So I like to let them know, hey, we've done your keyword research and your homepage copy's been written. I've given it to the design team, so it's in build mode. You know what I mean? So just that kind of thing. I don't have anything for you just yet, but it's progress on our side, sort of thing.
Yeah, won't be too long. Or give me a date, give me something, and they will. You lead people to where you want them to go to say this is what's going to happen. You're going to hear from me next here and be accountable for it. No one likes angry clients.
Yeah.
And I reckon the problem's not the client most of the time, it's us.
Yeah, exactly. It's our service standards. And it's just putting yourself in the other person's shoes and going, well, if I was them, what would I want?
Yeah, and I think the key is if I did that, is that okay? Always just, because if they say, no, it's not, we were hoping it'd be here Friday. Well, listen, there could be some problems as opposed to Friday. Where is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you didn't tell me.
Because sometimes people have deadlines and they don't let you know. And as I say, the team, and it's like, well, did you ask them? Like, you need to get that information. And it's not really their job to tell you, it's actually your job to find out.
If you ask more questions, you'll know more about what they want from you, what your expectation, and it'll be smoother. They can't then say, you didn't tell me. I'd rather them say, no, you too much communication, you've done my head in. Okay, I'll stop.
Oh, I get this one a lot. I was like, oh, I know that you sent it to me, but I can't be bothered going back and finding this. Can you just tell me that? I'm like, yeah, mate, that's fine. Easy for me.
Yeah, that's the busy syndrome. I'm the busiest person. No, you're not. Everyone's busy.
Thank you so much for coming in, Ben. I really do appreciate that.
It's excellent.
It's like I said, we're wrapping up the podcast this year, so it was just nice to end on such a high note. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us again as well. There is one more final episode after this one, and then that will be the end of Marketing Margaritas. So thanks again for tuning in. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Marketing and Margaritas. Find more free marketing tips, tricks and laughs at rebelnation.com.au.